So why do most ChatGPT apps fail? I'll tell you right now. It's not about bad prompts or even weak ideas. It's because builders are stuck in the past, They're using a playbook that just doesn't work anymore. Today, we're going to break down exactly why this happens and show you the mental shift you need to make to build apps that actually succeed.
So, if you're a web or mobile developer, you're probably thinking, hey, an app is an app, right? You figure the same rules apply. And let me tell you, that right there, that's the first and biggest mistake you can make. The reality is, building in this new AI-first world is a whole different ballgame. And to really get why, we need to look beyond computer science and, believe it or not, into celestial mechanics.
Welcome to what I call the three-body problem of AI. See, in the old world, things were simple. You had two bodies, the user and the UI. Predictable. But now, a third, incredibly powerful body has entered the system, the AI model. And boom, suddenly you have this chaotic, unpredictable dance of information between all three.
So here's where it all goes wrong. When a user clicks a button, sure, the UI updates, but the AI model, it is completely in the dark. It has no idea what just happened. Each part of your app is living in its own little world. This is what we call context asymmetry. And the solution isn't to force them all to talk constantly. No, it's to become an architect of information, deciding exactly who needs to know what and when.
Okay, so how do we actually solve this three-body problem? Well, it starts with a huge mental shift. We need to start thinking in terms of an agentic system, which is basically an app where the AI is an active participant, not just a passive tool. And that changes absolutely everything about how we handle context.
This slide just perfectly illustrates a rule you're going to have to unlearn. For years, the mantra was lazy load. Only fetch data when you absolutely have to. In this new world, that approach is a total disaster. The new rule is the complete opposite. Front load. Give the AI everything it might possibly need right from the very start.
So why is this so important? Well, because every time the AI has to pause and ask for more data, it's like having a conversation with someone who constantly has to say, hang on, let me look that up. It's slow, it's clunky, it's frustrating. By front-loading, you give the AI all the notes it needs beforehand, so the conversation can just flow smoothly and instantly.
But listen, front load does not mean data dump. That's a super common trap. Think of it like a mystery game. The AI probably needs to know who the killer is from the start, but the user absolutely shouldn't. You have to become a master of information control, creating these different realities for the user and the AI.
So how do you tell the AI what's happening in the UI without a total mess of code? The really elegant solution is to just leave these little sticky notes in your code using a simple tag. Instead of you having to manually tell the AI, hey, the user just opened the filter menu, this tag just does it for you. It's a clean, simple way to keep the AI's map of the UI constantly updated.
Okay, so once you've mastered the flow of information, you're going to hit the next wall, the user interface. All those web forms and filters we've spent years building, they just become roadblocks in a conversation.
You have to stop thinking of your AI app as a single window, and more like this dynamic thing that can change its shape. It can be a quick one-liner right there in the chat, or it can expand to a full-screen map when needed, or even shrink down to a small picture-in-picture widget to keep context during a longer conversation. This flexibility is what makes the experience feel natural, not clunky. You know that feeling when you're on a travel site and you're just faced with this endless wall of checkboxes and sliders? That's the old way. It feels like an interrogation. It forces you to do all the work, and it creates massive friction. Now compare that whole mess to this. No checkboxes, no sliders. The user just says what they want. In this new world, the UI's main job is to listen, to understand, and then to get out of the way. And here is where the magic happens. The AI becomes the ultimate translator. It takes that simple sentence and turns it directly into a complex API call that your backend can understand. This is language-first design. You are literally removing entire layers of UI that just don't need to exist anymore. So, you've mastered context, and you've designed this beautiful language-first UI. You're ready to launch. But this is where the new playbook meets the harsh reality of production, and let me tell you, security becomes your biggest hurdle. Get ready to meet Content Security Policies, or CSPs. Think of your app as living inside a secure, locked room, a sandbox. Well, CSPs are the guest list. You have to tell the bouncer at the door exactly which websites are allowed in to deliver images or data or anything else. If a domain isn't on that list, it is not getting in.
Oh man, we have all been there. It works perfectly on your laptop, but the second you deploy it, it breaks. In the world of AI apps, the culprit is almost always a strict security policy. My advice? Don't treat security as an afterthought. Make it part of your process from day one, and you will save yourself a world of pain.
So, after looking at context, UI, and production, what's the one thread that ties it all together? It's not a specific technology or some new framework. It's a completely new way of thinking. It's the agentic mindset. This is your new playbook, boiled down to 4 simple rules. 1. Always solve for the 3 bodies: user, UI, and model. 2. Be a master of context. 3. Design for conversation, not for clicks. And most importantly, number 4, remember what you're building. This is not a web page with some AI sprinkled on top. You are building a true AI collaborator. And really, that's the ultimate question. The apps that are going to define this next era won't just be old websites with a chat window. They are going to feel like something entirely new. So look at what you're building and ask yourself, is this just a pretty UI, or is it the start of a true collaboration between human and machine?